Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us in another edition of Kotak Cherry. So today we have with us Pankaj Tibrewal, Senior Vice President and Fund Manager, Kotak Mutual Fund. Pankaj Tibrewal is a graduate in Commerce from St. Xavier's College, Kolkata, and he has done his master's degree in Finance from Manchester University. Pankaj has more than 18 years experience in fund management. And prior to joining Kotak AMC, he was there in the fund management team of Principal Asset Management Company. So welcome, Pankaj.
It's a pleasure to be there with you guys. Thanks, Shubham.
Right. So Pankaj, the topic for the day today is how should one navigate in these volatile markets? Obviously, as we've seen over the last few weeks, we've seen decent corrections in the Indian markets. How do you see what lies ahead for an investor who has a near to medium term outlook?
Thanks, Shubham. I think interesting times. I think if you look at this year, calendar year 2021 till date, it has been a good year till now for the Indian equity. Uh, India appears on a structural uptrend with the new profit cycle, improvement in capex, and supportive policy environment. And over the last 18 months, many good things have happened. For example, after being stagnant on the profit pool for almost 5 years, where top 500 companies were roughly between 4 to 5 lakh crores of profit, we saw last year that number moving to 6 lakh 60,000 crores. And as we speak in the first half itself, that number is 4 lakh 40,000 crores, which is roughly 70% of last year's number. So profit cycle seems to be good, and we all know stocks are slave of earnings. However, in the near term, we are little cautious on the overall market because the run up has been too steep, and this is the third longest rally on record without even a 10% correction. Absolute valuations for India remains well above historical averages, and the other thing which is making us cautious is that if you look at the last 4 quarters, earnings revision was positive after every quarter, and we were on an earnings upgrade cycle. However, in the September quarter, earnings were in line with expectation, and our belief is in the third and fourth quarter, you would have headwinds on the margin side because of the input cost pressures for corporate India, which will make sure that the earnings upgrade cycle will get a pause and markets may move sideways or may see some kind of a consolidation in the near term. Also, in September quarter, a large part of earnings growth came from commodity companies like metals, mining, oil and gas, which always keep us in doubt whether this earnings will be sustainable or not. I think the strong performance of Indian equity markets this year has made that Indian equities are at a very high premium to the other emerging markets. In our view, the best of the market breadth is behind us, and going forward, earnings of the overall index may remain durable, but there is a greater dispersion which can happen between winners and losers, suggesting that it could be a stock pickers market in the coming next 12 months. So we need to navigate this next 12 months very carefully. The early cycle phase of the last 18 months seems to be behind us, where multiple expansion happened, earnings growth happened. I think the next 12 months will be more driven by earnings growth rather than multiple expansion.
And how do you see the market sort of spanning out for an investor who has a long term objective?
So we always have been kind of advocating a asset allocation strategy for most of the investors. Uh, Always I say that equities is a volatile asset class, and if you have anything less than 3 to 5 year horizon, probably this is not the asset class to invest in. We all know about the word KYC, which is know your client. I think what makes you money in the market is something called KYS, which is know yourself first. I think our mind could be our biggest friend. Our mind and our own self could be our biggest enemy also. And that's where you need to win in the markets over the longer term. If you know yourself well, that what is your risk appetite, how much volatility you can fathom, whether this asset class is made for you, I think 80% of the battle is won there itself. So I would suggest that first know yourself. If you are an equity investor, I think any dip, any correction, past has proved that is a great opportunity to buy Indian equities. And in our sense, this decade is going to be India's decade. In the near term, obviously, valuations are looking a little rich. But if one takes a 3-5 year call, this could be one of the best asset classes to invest in. Provided you are able to fathom the corrections which takes place from time to time. Also, one might see a sharp drop in portfolio value, and that too suddenly. So only those who are kind of willing to fathom this volatility should invest in them. We would at this stage advise investors to follow asset allocation, be disciplined in their investment approach. At the current junction, anybody looking at the fresh investment can stagger their investments through SIP or the STP over the next 6-12 months, and use the consolidation/correction as an opportunity to increase their equity exposure.
Right, Pankaj. Also, Pankaj, since last year we've seen a whole new set of people, whole record level of demat accounts being opened. For those set of investors who entered into Indian markets, considering just in the last 1 year, and they've only seen markets going up and up, what should they do at these volatile times?
In equity markets, very few understand the logic of compounding, and compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. Okay, my only advice to all the people who are new to the markets would be, or the youngsters in the market will be, that this is an outlier year. The last 12-18 months have been an outlier period. Don't extrapolate those returns into the future. Equity markets are not so easy, investments are not so easy. I would suggest that follow disciplined asset allocation first. Be very clear on your greed and fear strategy. Third, you should be willing and to accept maybe a 10-20% correction at any point of time, which in equities can happen. Don't run a leverage position, because leverage can kill you forever for a very long period of time. And make sure that if you are doing it yourself, you do it with proper research. And if you can't do it yourself, trust the professional managers who are there in the country to manage your money.
Pankaj, obviously, we've seen markets correcting in the last couple of weeks. So how does one identify a winning stock in a falling market?
So I think we have been consistent with our philosophy, and just will take 2 minutes to explain our philosophy. So we believe that any business, whether large cap, mid cap, small cap, these are all caps given by us. But the way we would like to evaluate a business is great, good, gruesome. Is it a great or a good business, or a gruesome business? And what defines that great and good business? The first one is whether the business has opportunity to grow. Whether it's a small fish in a large pond or a large fish in a small pond. And I think evaluation of business is very critical, and especially in times like this where there's so much of disruption happening in every sector, and there's a terminal value challenge to every business. The longevity of businesses are coming down, the cycles are becoming shorter and sharper, and we need to be cognizant of that fact that many businesses probably will find it hard to survive in the next decade, which is going to be coming in front of us. So business evaluation and opportunity is a very critical component, and we do that very carefully. The second one is, I think, management. We are not going to run the company, and over the years, I think we have got experience on which managements to trust, and we do a lot of ground level checks on looking at the past track record of the management to minority shareholders, because it's finally the jockey who will run the show. We are not going to run the show, so we have to bet on the right management, which may be a combination of promoter, professional, or promoter, either way. The third, I think, is most important is the On the financial side, two, three parts. One, we like businesses where there is return on capital, which is higher than the cost of equity for sustainable periods of time. If a business doesn't earn return on capital, which is higher than the cost of equity, trust me, the business will destroy value over a period of time. Because to continue the growth, it will either borrow or dilute equity at frequent intervals, thus destroying shareholder value. And we have seen enough example in the last 10, 15 years where many businesses in infrastructure, power, other sectors, which looked very good at the start, but they never generated ROEs which were commensurate from a shareholder return perspective. That's very important. The second, I think for us, top line is vanity, bottom line is sanity, and cash in bank is reality. What does that mean? That never run businesses which only run for top line if it doesn't convert into profits. Never only buy companies which show accounting profits but never convert into cash flow. So we are a cash flow driven house. We believe that finally cash in bank is reality and companies should be evaluated more on cash flows rather than the accounting P&L. The last thing which we see is the valuation. Obviously, if it's a growth oriented company, you have to pay a slightly higher price, but you should not be paying abnormal prices of buying a good quality company, because finally we have seen that many good quality companies also go through a consolidation period where they give you no returns. So it's very important at the price you are buying a company, even if it is the best quality company. If you give a wrong price, I think future returns may not be too kind to you. So these are the few things which we look at. And if any correction happens, and the classic point was last year, March 2020, it was a blessing in disguise for people like us. And when we saw that on a DCF basis, even if you remove 1 year earnings, the DCF value was only getting impacted by 7-8%. And there were some good quality stocks which were beaten down by 50, 60, 70%. And we went whole hog in buying those names, and the rest is history. So I think these sale periods are a great opportunity. It is only in stock market that people don't buy in sale. Otherwise, people queue up outside the malls and shopping plazas to buy on a sale. But stock market sale is the most wonderful sale, which one can get things at a very cheap and discounted rate. So we love those periods when good quality companies are available at a very cheap price.
Right, Pankaj. Also, Pankaj, one of my favorite books is All I Want to Know Is Where I'm Going to Die. So I'll never go there. How do you apply, the insights from this book into your investment philosophy?
Well researched, I think, Shubham. Yes, it's been my favorite book. And in investments, over a period, what I have learned little is that it's not always that you want to get the right multi-bagger. Okay. A large part of your investing success depends upon how much or how many times you have avoided failures, because if your 100 rupees in correction becomes 50, it's just 50%. But the 50 to again go back to 100, it's 100%. So it's easy to lose capital, but to come back to your principal, it takes a long time. We will make mistakes, but the mistakes should not be so large that it brings or drags down the portfolio return for a longer period of time and make it difficult for you to come back. So we have an entire checklist of companies where we will not touch them. Okay. If you just invert my philosophy on the stocks which I explained, which we will buy, the inversion list will give you companies which will never buy. What are those? Bad businesses, terminal value challenge, businesses which they will not generate ROE, ROC above the cost of equity, which don't generate cash flows, run by bad promoters, dishonest promoters, we'll never touch them. So it's in investing, it's not about hitting 6 at every ball. Staying on the pitch is more important. And how do you stay on the pitch for a longer period of time? By avoiding mistakes, by avoiding larger mistakes. And I would suggest to all your viewers to please read that book. It's an encyclopedia. Whenever you are challenged and in a doubt, just flip some pages and leaflets, and a lot of your doubt gets cleared out. So all I want to know, where I'm going to die, I will never go there. So that's that's the book, and I would advise you and your viewers to also kind of go through that. It's a Bible in itself for investing.
Right.
Thanks for having me, and wish you guys a very safe, happy New Year. If we don't see you guys again in this year itself. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pankaj. It was a pleasure having you on board today. We are sure that our viewers will find immense value in the insights and perspectives that you've shared with us. And for all the viewers who are watching this video and who want to invest, Kotak Cherry is the app to download. It's available on both Android and iOS. Log on to the app, or you can go to the website and you can choose multiple investment options. It's a true super app. Thank you so much joining us here. Like and subscribe our YouTube channel. We will be coming to you with a lot of expert interviews to give more insights, which you might not find it available in other platforms. Thank you and have a good day.